The following is a somewhat true story that transpired over the Christmas holidays during my visit to London, England. Cafe Woke. I metaphorically owned the gym today. I wish I literally owned the gym. I can only imagine what this type of real estate in the posh neighborhood of Hampstead would be worth, but I'll have to settle for metaphorically owning it, by which I mean I crushed my workout and that my confidence was at peak levels. It was time to feed my ego by strutting my sleeveless physique around the town under the pretense of refueling myself with a post-workout beverage. Heads are turning and people are staring. I have to concede that there is a small chance that this is because the temperature registers just slightly above zero today, and is paired with December freezing rain, and I'm walking around in a sleeveless tank top with the words Beast Mode scrawled across my shirt. But I believe there is an even higher chance that necks are snapping because the residents of this London borough don't know what 240 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal looks like. But that would mainly be due to England's creation and employment of the metric system. I maneuver my way through the crowded sidewalks, littered with bespoke Keaton suits and Prada dresses, towards a coffee shop with a pretentious name and an even more pretentious crowd milling around outside. As I approach the entrance, I am surprised to notice a most likely previously attractive, homeless panhandler who was trying to hawk her streetwise newspapers just outside the coffee shop's entrance. I would have assumed that the outrageous housing prices of this neighborhood would have also purchased the residents of this affluent London district a beggar-free environment. I make the mental note that I was clearly incorrect in that assumption as I step around the panhandler, who no one was helping at all, and reach for the door handle to the establishment. There isn't much of a line when I enter the coffee shop, just a handful of people queued up to staring into the display case of pastry goods as they wait their turn to place their order. I enter at the back of the line and pony up to the counter, eyeing up the pan au chocolat. As I do so, a broad-shouldered, athletic, and if I'm being honest, quite attractive black man senses my approaching presence and glances over at me. I smile and say hi to the stranger, who I had already sized up and presumed as being either a professional athlete or a movie star. He reciprocates my smile and tells me I'm lookin' hench. This is a compliment in London gym parlance, I believe. I consider it analogous to someone back home telling me I'm lookin' swole, which, for edification purposes, is considered high praise in gym slang. It should be noted that a compliment such as this makes us instant friends. I unconsciously puff up my chest and subtly flex my arms as I prepare to deliver a response that only serves to state the obvious. Thanks, bro. Just got done at the gym. Need my post-workout pick-me-up. Yeah, I can tell, grins the stranger as he gives me an ocular once-over and follows it with a head nod of approval. This is indeed a perceptive man, and what this man is perceiving is my skin-bursting, vein-exploding, post-workout pump. I would describe this man as currently engaged in the process of what we in gym culture refer to as Myron. The stranger asks a follow-up question. Aren't you cold, though? It's only 2 or 3 degrees outside. An accurate observation indeed. Also, a common observation. And as such, I have a response to questions of this variety preloaded in the form of 2 truths and a lie. I'm from Canada. It gets way colder there. This weather here doesn't even affect me. The dapper gentleman listens and replies to my statement. Oh, interesting. Well, I wouldn't know, that's for sure. I'll take your word on it. That Canadian blood of yours must save you a lot on heating bills during the winter. Ha ha, yeah. It's one of the perks of being Canadian, I laugh in response. I hear the coffee shop door swing open, accompanied by a bustle of energy. A big group was headed in, and I was lucky enough to have beat the rush. As the crowd piles in behind me, I turn to face them. I smile underneath my mask, which in my own mind radiates an air of contagious charisma. I feel I can safely consider my persona contagious due to the fact that the people entering the coffee shop that aren't currently wearing their protective COVID masks all reach into their pockets and strap it onto their face. This is what's known as leading by example. Wait, please, that would be great. I hear the conclusion of my new friend placing his order with the barista and turn back around. My new friend takes a couple steps back to allow me to place my order. I slide over and initiate an abrupt face to engage the barista. Due to the height discrepancy, I am forced to crank my neck back to look up at the towering, well-groomed, and handsome barista, who is the splitting image of Where's Waldo. Smiling with my eyes, I say, Hi there, can I get a large coffee with cream and sugar, please? Begging your pardon, sir. What did you say? Did you say coffee? The barista's reply catches me slightly off guard, and I can't help but detect subtle touches of condescension in his tone. Although, I also have to consider the fact that my attention level was operating at maybe 30% when the tall and lanky man responded to me, and as such have to give him a pass. For now. I repeat my request. Yes, please. Large coffee, cream and sugar. We don't have coffee. Whereas Waldo hits me with a full stop, and then stares at me awaiting for my response. Your move, buddy vibe emanates from hazel eyes behind black wire-frame glasses. My first move is to downgrade this caffeine-slinging Englishman from Waldo to Wally. My second move is to seize this opportunity to finally test out what I have learned after attending a solid 4 sessions of improv acting classes. I look around the coffee shop with an exaggerated level of kabuki theater-esque confusion across my face. My hyperbolic pantomime did not appear to be appreciated by the barista, as expressed by his crossed-arm stance and fully scowled visage. It was not fully clear to me whether the man's body language stood as testament to the fact that my improv classes were working amazingly well or horribly bad. The barista decides to answer my performance art with some attitude, which I felt was very uncharacteristic for an Englishman. Listen, American. Wally makes the choice of sticking the landing on the intonation of American, which many, including myself, would assume implies a strong derogatory connotation. We don't have this coffee that you ask about. What we do have, and can make for you, is an Americano. Maybe you've heard of it? Now, I am not allowed to take issue with, or be upset about life scenarios, wherein someone calls me out and identifies me as an oversized, boisterous, and gregarious American. That would be ridiculously hypocritical of me, due to the fact that I have literally done everything within my power to build this identity, and I wear this self-created, nationalistic cosplay uniform with pride. That being said, in this particular life scenario, what I take issue with is the subtext of what this gangly barista implied. That an uncultured and stupid American is just not of the same class as the Europeans, and wouldn't know the difference between a coffee and an Americano. This is compounded by the fact that the beverage is literally named an Americano, thereby doubling the insult to the American who comes in and asks for a coffee. I'll have a large Americano, please. Yes, sir, large Americano. The barista beams back at me. His attitude seems to have adjusted already. I can't blame him. My charisma is top tier. There's also the possibility that I may have misread his mannerisms and the scenario in general. Whatever the case, something has changed. Vienna adds a follow-up question that absolutely floors me and stops me in my tracks. White or black? What? What type of a question is this? My optimism was obviously misplaced. The change in Wally's demeanor was undoubtedly a clever tactic that he had employed in an effort to lull me into a false sense of security before he delivered his coup de grace. To begin, the barista had thrown me off balance by insinuating a nationalistic superiority, and he follows that up by slamming me with a racially loaded question, all during the simple act of ordering a damned coffee. What I had anticipated would be a simple exchange of money for caffeinated goods has slowly escalated to an undertone-fueled and anxiety-driven game of racist chicken. I know that I can't answer with a color. I can't play the game he wants me to play and turn it into a preferential race question. Lightning-quick thinking from my frontal cortex is required. Synapses fire and my brain rises to the occasion with an agile workaround. Could I have some cream, please? I'm pleased with myself. We don't have cream. Shit. This is not good. I try to hold my composure. The arrogance in the barista is palpable, although perhaps only palpable to me. The upscale cafe's patrons' faces only betray expressions of mild annoyance, and fail to convey the self-imposed and imaginary stakes that I have manifested during this negotiation. I mentally recap the scene since entering the establishment. Loud American walks into a fancy cafe in London and is made to feel both uncomfortable and that he doesn't belong, just because he doesn't know the fancy Spanish names to all of these French coffees. And the ante is up to the nth degree, with a snide binary inquiry with racist undertones. I'll just take it black. He has boxed me into what I consider a safe and correct answer. He clearly knows that when I ask for cream, I am implying that I want white. I mean, he would have to think that, wouldn't he? What else could white mean? Okay. Are you sure you don't want milk? Milk! Damn it, yes, I would like milk. But now that the subtle racist connotation has permeated into this confrontation, I can't change my stance. Doing so would make me look racist. I'm sure that is exactly what this cocky barista wanted ever since I made the error of asking for a coffee and not an Americano, and he tipped my hat that I was from America. I'm sure. Black is fine. Black is great. I step away from the counter as the barista informs me that my drink order will be ready shortly. I try to calm down and reassure myself that this shouldn't even be a problem. I can just get the drink and then go and add the milk on my own over by the counter behind me. This shouldn't be a dilemma at all. My new plan is sound. Wait, I feel like I have forgotten something. Ugh, what could that be? Damn it! COVID! That's right. Regulations have granted the power to small business to put into place draconian-style protocols over any facets of their daily operations that they choose. I slowly turned to face the counter where the milk would normally be situated and confirm what I had feared. This cafe had made the choice to keep the milk and cream under their control behind the main counter. The employment of this tactic cannot be accidental. They will still allow customers to collect and administer their own sugar, but not any liquids? There is no doubt in my mind that Wally himself was the brainchild behind this cafe's decision to maintain complete control over milk and cream administration. Oh, COVID is wrecking everything for everyone, and especially making things so much harder for me. Now I can't even choose to add my own cream to my Americanos. I'm at the complete mercy of the baristas, who clearly take great pleasure in forcing me into anxiety-driven situations that feel like a hostage negotiation. The sentiments of anti-Americanism, coupled with racist subtext, is too much. The cafe's employment of COVID protocols to leverage this situation even more so has led me to the brink of outrage. I'm a white male of privilege, and the situation has instilled fits of anxiety that borders on outright panic inside of me. God, just imagine if I were black. I can't even begin to fathom how much worse I would feel. Something needs to be done about this. I scan the cafe quickly in search of my new black friend to make sure that he is okay. He is nowhere to be found. That makes unequivocal sense to me. He undoubtedly felt even worse when Where's Wally put him in the same situation. My new friend must have bolted out of the cafe. I can't blame him. However, what I can do is speak up on his behalf so that it never happens to him, black people, or anyone else ever again. My internal monologue and plan I was constructing is interrupted by Wally as he gives me a wave and lets me know that my Americano is ready. I rush over and snatch my plastic to-go cup off the table, making sure not to make eye contact, and make my way out of this powder keg. As I walk out of the cafe, an angelic voice beckons to me with exactly what I need at this precise moment. A compliment. Sir, you truly are the largest and most muscled man I have ever seen. I turn to see the face of this angel. Upon viewing her face, I correct myself and recategorize her as more of a fallen angel. It's the homeless lady. However, her weathered complexion belies a wisdom beyond her years, which would make her very wise considering she was most likely in her mid-50s. Although, if I were to age adjust for decades of drug abuse, she may in actuality have only been 35. It's always difficult to tell. I politely reply, Why thank you, ma'am. How very kind of you. She decides to cut the foreplay and solicits me for a few quid for one of her newspapers. I answer in the affirmative and let her know that it won't be just a few quid, but a nice tenner. Her face lights up and she heaps blessings upon me. She reaches out her hand, but I tell her to wait just 1 second. I stretch out to tap a random stranger on the shoulder and ask if they could take a picture of me and this homeless lady. I know that it is indeed crucially important to document and display this type of action that I am performing, with the ultimate aim of letting society know that good still exists in the world, and thereby inspire and motivate others to follow suit. I tell both the homeless lady and the photographer for hire that we need the photo to look like a candid shot. I absolutely don't want us posing and facing the camera. That would make it look like we staged the whole thing and defeat the purpose. It takes a few attempts and some instructions from me to both of the participants, but we eventually capture the moment splendidly. As I stride away from the gleeful panhandler, I unsheath my iPhone of social media justice and prepare to both correct the wrong that occurred in this cafe today and post my candid display of unbridled generosity. I feel an overwhelming sense of joy and righteousness begin to swell inside of me, warming me to the core and overpowering the inclement January weather of London. 2 good deeds done today. To know that I have the ability to do good for other people is such a powerful sensation. I wonder to myself whether this phenomenon I'm experiencing is what people would refer to as wokeness.